How you doing, Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs? It's time for a fucking vlog. Right, Zoe the bastard's out of his winter hibernation. We've had the covers off. We have changed the the intermediate jet in the Carburetor. Here's the old one. Not much to show you, but we're fortunate we're able to do a proctologist job on him. So we didn't have to remove the carb. We took the filter off, which I've not filmed because I didn't think about it. Took the filter off, the inner filter off, and basically, if I can get there and show you, I fucking can't, can I? It's reflection, look at that, it's mad. Anyway, we've done it up the bum. That's what I'm on about, proctologist. We've had his float bowl off in situ, took that jet out, and put a slightly bigger intermediate jet. Since the advent of unleaded, which is, I know it's a fucking long time and I'm slack as fuck, but there you go. He's had a spit fart moment, and it's down to jetting. I found out, I only found this out recently, so don't throw rocks at me for not looking after him. I've tried fuel additives and all sorts to get the octane and the richness and everything that he deserves, because, you know, when these were built, they were built to run on fucking proper high octane, fully leaded, kill the planet, but fucking run like fuck big V-twin gasoline, you know, and that's not available anymore. Anyway, my mate, Lee Jenkins, informed me of this jet change. I didn't even know you could. Done it. Fucking hell, what a difference. So much better. So that leaves the the front exhaust pipe. I'm going to strip that off. You can see there's some fucking detritus under the kicker. It's where I tried to touch it up after swinging the kickstart round and fouling it. So we're going to do that to make it look a bit shinier, and, well, it's matte satin black but cleaner. And we've got to change the fork seals. Other than that, we're a quick clean away. I did notice there's a little bit of oil around the base of the cylinders and the pushrod tube area. I've had a quick tweak and tighten, and we're going to see if we can't nail that down. And here's the Triumph, bless it. The list has got short, but so's time. And I'm away with my club in only a few weeks, so this Triumph is not going to be ready. Most likely not. I'm not giving up yet, but I don't fucking think it is. Part of that is this fucking bottom water line. It needs to go from there, from the pump, to there, in a fashionable sense. Well, in every sense, in a practical sense, but it needs to look good doing it, is what I'm struggling to start with. I ordered a new pipe, because the old one was that fucking rusty inside. I couldn't see me doing anything to weld that up. So I ordered a new, in brackets, and it's a refurb. You can see the pitting around it. Look, I've cleaned the powder coating off, ready to chop it and weld it, and that's not much better. There's not as much rust inside, but it's not a fucking new pipe. That, however, is a new pipe. It's a new piece of pipe in stainless. We might make one, might not. But that's the biggest sticking point. That and the fucking oil cooler bypass. I bought some fittings to make a line up, and I'm not sure it's going to do it. But if it don't, we'll have to look another way. Maybe some different fittings. I have, however, finished the headlight bracket. Look. We've shaped and polished that fucker. And done a few other little bits and bobs if you follow along. Made this beautiful little cover, haven't we? Paintwork's fucking well on its way. There's not that much left to do apart from cosmetics, so hopefully we'll be cracking on with that. And on the jig is our Dan's Evo, 1340 Evo, proper old school. Proper old school, it's fucking brand new in it next to the shovel head, fuck me. shovel heads are 40 years old this year. 45 years, 46 years, 42, sorry. Anyway, if you follow the series, you'll see that we had a bit of a caper making the front end fit itself and the back end fit, and we're waiting for parts on that back end. But in the meantime, we've built a frame for him. I'm just waiting on this head steady fucking. I put a brace in already. Mounted the fucking tanks, fuel and oil, respectively. There you go. So we're awaiting parts. Today is my day. Time of filming is when I look at mine. I'm here for a short day. So we do some on that, and then fuck off home and rest up. I've absolutely got to mention the Eddies. Find them on YouTube. Bless you, Edit. It's been a while. I've had it ages and just not fucking with the internet going down. Not had a chance to video it and get it out there, but this is for the Harleys that have a heel and toe shifter. This is the heel eliminator. So that goes in place of that heel toe peg. It's just a bit of pretty to, you know, just a bit of fun like. And this is really a practical thing. It's for me vintage antique now, isn't it? 90 years old. Atlas-lathe. Oh, here it is, fucking gleaming. Under there, you can just see is a big fucking geared thing, and this locks in place on that, and then traps between this cover to lock the spindle so you can unscrew the chuck. I had been using this indexing pin, which is a naughty. There's indexing holes all the way around. I don't know how many there is. There's more than 36, but it's not 360. I'm fucking sure. So we could measure that, couldn't we? We could put that to there, right? And then we could count the holes to 90 or something similar if we could be arsed. But anyway, my point is, Eddie sent me this fucking brilliant 3D printed design just for that job. Well done, mate. I'm really, really grateful. And it goes without saying that this sticker graces, you know, toolbox with a 1996 fucking tax disc, which was the year that the shovel head got built in this guise, looking pretty much how it does now. There's been a couple of changes along the way, like the sprung seat, because I'm nearly 60. And no chrome on the exhaust, because one went bouncing down the road once, and black's all right, black and wrap. And fatter handlebars. I originally made it with 1-inch bars, and then went to 1.25 inch. You could not buy these handlebars when I made them. Nobody fucking had them. Nobody made them that style. I did. I made dozens and dozens of pairs in 1 7/8 in the wide fucking stands. You couldn't buy them. I think they call them beach bars now, and they're available all over the shop. But I had to make them special, and the risers as well, to take 1.25 inch. I didn't step down to inch. I kept it 1.25 inch, and then just tigged, and then tigged 1 inch in the ends for the controls. Yeah, there you go, 1996. So although it's been painted before, and I know the compressor probably sounds loud, but it's going to get a whole lot louder because I'm going to DA it off with 320 grit. I should say the front exhaust pipe off the shovel head, because there'll be no continuity when we stitching this block together, will there? So yeah, although it's been painted before, I'm going to 320 it off to give it a good key. Now, unfortunately, with this paint, you can't touch the fucker up. Once it's baked, if you put wet paint onto this finish, it fucking wrinkles up, it reacts. Yeah, like this. So, I can't touch it up. And that means we've got to strip all of it off, because if we leave some in the cracks and crevices, it's going to fucking react, isn't it? So, I'm going to DA the whole thing and then over to the wire brush to get the nooks and crannies, and then we'll mask up the wrap. We'll wrap up the wrap and go from there. Right, there's a hot water bath straight from the kettle and the tap to warm the paint up. So we're going to dash over, must dash, is that the time? So we're going to dash it over to the the spraying booth. Fight his way in, and there she is, look, all cleaned and masked and everything. And let's have a test spray. Oh yeah, we are. There's a little bit of fluff on the end of that. We're all set to start building some layers up. Now this paint is particularly nasty shit. And yes, I should be wearing a mask, but I'm filming, so if I was wearing a mask you wouldn't be able to hear me. So that's that. Hey, and I've got to fucking mention our Dean. So I'm so grateful, mate. Thank you so much. Our Dean's fucking lent me his big MIG. I've been on the search for a bigger MIG, and my Super MIG 150 is now upgraded to a Super MIG 220. And what I'll do, I'll run some thin wire on the little old one, some 0.6, and that'll do for welding sheet for boxes and things. And this can stick on the 0.8. I might even go 1 mil. Check out what rollers are in it, how much wire's on it. Maybe upgrade it to 1 mil. It's 0.8 at the minute, but I'm sure the rollers will be flip over for 0.8 and 1, and the little one is 0.8 and 0.6. So one for doing sheet, one for doing frames and stuff. Happy days. And of course, no vlogs complete without bangers for breakfast. So there's Harry up in the air. Woohoo! Gathered up his skirts, look. Front end out next. Well, front wheel out, front wheel guard off, forks out. Fork seals to do. Which is a job I fucking hate doing, I don't mind telling you. But there you fucking go, there's Harry up in there. I love my fucking shovel. Really do. I worked out I've owned this bike 29 years, which is over half my life. Still looking good. Here we go then. Hiccup number 1 is this top bolt has managed to, come on, focus. I've cleaned most of it off now, but you see the aluminium one in the threads, that's out this fucking hole. It should have a good quality thread in it, and it's fucking chewed up proper. Didn't want to come out, so I've got some inserts. I might need to put an insert in there to reclaim the threads. In the meantime, I'm going to use my thread file at 1.25 pitch to clean these threads out. So we'll chase the threads and we'll try it in, and if needs be, we'll be fitting an insert. Right, we've cleaned. We're just trying it on, and I don't mean taking the piss. People who understand that will understand that. So I'm going to feel. Oh, fucking hell, it's gleaming. Yeah, the damage is in the first half of the thread in the caliper, and the bog's all the way through into good thread behind. So yeah, no need for an insert. That's one job less to do. Right, I would usually, sometimes always, use this bench, put a vice on the end, and I can hold shit and do work on the forks. I'm just used to doing it there. I'm relegated because of Dan's fucking beast. So we're on the marking out and setting up and doing bench, different bench, fabrication bench. I'm going to whack that out. There's a 6mm Allen fitting up its bum. That goes into the damper. We'll have that out while the top's still in. We'll drop soft jaws on the fucking floor for about the 100th time. And then we'll have it over a bowl, draining while we take the top out and strip them down, yeah, one at a time. Here we go then. So we've undone the top nut. It's got a preload adjuster and all the spring and everything else all fixed onto it. So we just take all that out in one go. There's the bottom of the damper. Look at now, I'm on my tiptoes, and that goes in there. That can be draining off. Now what I need to do is prise this seal out, this dust cover. There's a circlip in there, and then we can use the fork bottom and the tubes opposite each other like a slide hammer to bang the old seal out. Alright, so I've already done it, but what I do is go inside. This is the inside where the wheel sits, and you're going to mark it, it's going to happen. Get a screwdriver in and get that seal out, that dust cover. Then if you pick, there's a circlip that holds the actual oil sealing, and now you can use this. See, look, see that, it's bashing the camera up, so I'll lift it off the table, look, and then we slide hammer a way out, look. It can prove difficult, but out it comes. And that is basically it. We lift this off, the old seal, leaving that washer on, so it pulls the bushing out that sits on top of the forks at the same time. So, not worried about that. I'll get the new oil seal, spring side down. I'm oily as fuck anyway, so what's the difference? Get some oil on there, slide it on, if it'll go. Yeah, like so. And put that back in. There's the seal sitting proud, and I make these up. You can get a proper tool, which, hold on, I've got one here. Bear with. Yeah, like this is our Dan's US Pro 41mm, and it comes in half, so if you got upside down or there's something in the way, it's not too bad. Unfortunately, it's a 42mm, so it's not going to fit to demonstrate. Either way, now I use my little hammer on this, which is going to shake you a lot, so I'll just get it started like so, and we tap that all the way down until we can see that circlip groove exposed. Like I said, I normally have this stood on the bench, but it's going to knacker your view up if I do. So that's clear. Back in with the circlip, which is can be a little bit fiddly, but no great shakes. Make sure it clicks into that retaining ring, and we'll get a new dust cover. Slide that over and tap it home like so. Then we'll put the guts back in, put the bolt back up, put 450 millilitres of medium to heavyweight oil in. Job's a good one. So they're both done. Put back in. A little bit of a sweat on. Give them a quick wipe down. They're going to be oily for a little while, depending on whether I've actually washed the bike or not. I'm reluctant to do so, to be fair, because it takes a lot of polishing afterwards. But now it's time we can put it all back together. The process is obviously a reverse of the disassembly, which starts with this plate that holds the fender, holds the mudguard. It's not a fucking guitar, and then the mudguard, and then the wheel, and then the calipers. So not very exciting, but mechanically that's all good. It just needs putting back together. Now we go all together, and clean and shiny and ready to take out for a test ride, which is next on the agenda. I think we'll chuck an helmet on, grab a pair of gloves, and head off out into the bright blue yonder for a little while, just to give it a shakedown, obviously, see how it's running with the rejet, bake that exhaust paint and paste, and settle the front end in. So I'm just going to spin you around. It just leaves me to thank you for watching. If you like what you see, give me a sub. Please give me a thumbs up. Makes a huge difference. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Check out my friends in the description below. Fucking hell. And after all that, have a great one. I'll see you on the next one. Big love, everyone.